Welcome to Everything Spectrum. Today, I finally got to get on. I haven't been able to get on in a couple of weeks, and it's really nice to be able to get on. I've been really busy, um, as you know, with me being autistic, and I'm raising three little ones that are autistic. Our lives can be a bit much, and one of our little ones with autism just was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. So we've been kind of even busier than usual, and school and just all kinds of stuff. So one of the reasons why I did want to make sure that I got on today is because I just want to talk a little bit about what is going on with the autistic community, and what is going on behind the scenes of the autistic community and on the outlying areas of the autistic community. I'm not political, I'm not controversial. I just wanted to have my channel because I want to talk about my journey, my kids' journey. Um, I don't know the ins and outs of what some of these other YouTubers know about uh, the politics behind what's going on, but I've been watching a little bit, and so I wanted to touch on this today. So let's discuss. One of the ways I first found out that there were right ways of saying things was I got caught by saying that I was living with autism or something along those lines. And so I found out, to just say that I'm autistic or my kids are autistic. And it really wasn't, it was just the way I said it. And so I found out very quickly that there is a right way to say things. So I started looking into this more. And I also quickly found out that there were new terms that I wasn't aware of and words that honestly I had never heard before. So I've watched the younger YouTubers to understand the new terminology. At first, I just felt like an old autistic trying to learn the new ways, trying to learn the political correctness because I really did want to do it right. I learned things which I did already know, that Autism Speaks was not a good organization. I've already admitted that I don't even know how many years ago, it was a long time ago, that I was a guest writer for them as an autistic, writing the autistic voice. And I did it, I don't know, a few times. And if I was asked to do it again, I would not do it. I was also naive. I did not know the message behind Autism Speaks, and people could slam me for that. But I'm just going to be, I'm just going to say it. I have autism, and I've been seeing some autistics slamming other autistics, and I am really confused by that. Everybody's journey is just their journey, and they can present it the way they want to present it. And, if I refer to myself in a certain way without even really thinking, just because it's my story, I mean, that's just my story. Anyway, that's just kind of like a side note on all this stuff that's going on. But anyway, back to Autism Speaks. I knew that they were not a good organization. And I knew that they were top heavy. And that was why I knew that they were bad. I didn't know that much more about it, but I do now. I'm a lot more, I've learned a lot more about it. So I know that their money goes to the wrong people. I know that they're not for autistics the way that they should be, and they're for a term which we call eugenics. I had to look that up. Now, do I know what eugenics means now? Yes. Um, and again, I'm going to just say this. I'm an autistic that just wanted to get my story out. I have, with my working memory computed into my IQ, it comes to like 78. Um, so I don't have the ability to think a lot of the ways that other people do. And and I do my best. And again, it is just my journey. Um, but I want to get back to this term, eugenics. It states, it is the study of how to arrange reproduction within a human population to increase the occurrence of heritable characteristics regarded as desirable. Developed by Francis Galton as a method of improving the human race, eugenics was increasingly discredited as unscientific and racially biased during the 20th century, especially after the adoption of its doctrines by the Nazis, in order to justify their treatment of Jews, disabled people, and other minority groups. Now, that I understand. I mean, I've been to the Holocaust Museum in LA. I've seen Anne Frank's diary in person. It is absolutely horrific. And I've seen the remnants of many, many garments and many writings and, sacred items that were left behind by people that went through what happened uh, by the Nazis. And so I absolutely understand what eugenics is coming from that standpoint. Now, did I have any clue that this was a thing today with and linking it with autism and no, I really didn't. And so I can get slammed for that too. But I started looking up examples of eugenics, and this is what I found. Many countries enacted various eugenics policies, including genetic screenings, birth control, promoting different birth rates, marriage restrictions, segregation, both racial segregation and sequestering the mentally ill, compulsory sterilization, forced pregnancies, and etc. I don't know what to say about this, but it's horrific. Again, people are who they are, and I don't think anyone needs fixed. We are all who God made us to be. He made us who He made us to be. And I find this to be appalling. Now, I found more information when I looked up new eugenics, which states the new eugenicists describe the old eugenics as unscientific and coercive, concerned with the improvement of the race. The new eugenics proposes to create better opportunities for children through individual human enhancement and undesirable trait elimination, rather than to improve the species. I mean, this is above me, but none of it sounds like what God intended. That's all it doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't sound good to me at all. Now, with that said, I want to look at the word ableist. And I got to be honest, I had never heard this word. I didn't even know what ableism was until I started watching younger autistic YouTubers and until I was called one because I had a puzzle piece somewhere from a while ago in either a picture or something. I'm not sure where they saw it, but they wrote me and said that I was ableist because I had a puzzle piece, um, which I've learned that the puzzle piece is from Autism Speaks and it is offensive. So I looked for wherever there could be a puzzle piece association with me, and I immediately started removing the puzzle piece. But some people still have puzzle pieces throughout, and they're different colors, like hearts with all kinds of puzzle pieces, so that confuses me. So I'm thinking it's just the blue puzzle piece that people are against because they did the lighted up blue and they did the blue puzzle piece. So I'm thinking it's the blue puzzle piece. And again, if you know differently, please tell me and explain it below in a comment so I better understand, because I don't, and I really am trying to learn. Okay, now the lighted up blue, I did also find out that the blue lights can cause seizures to people that are autistic, and it has an association with uh, Autism Speaks. So, and I don't do the lighted up blue thing. But back to the term ableist. So again, somebody had called me an ableist, and I looked at my friend and I said, "What's an ableist? I don't even know what that is." So ableism is discrimination in favor of able-bodied people. Ableism is discrimination and social prejudice against people with disabilities and or people who are perceived to be disabled. Ableism characterizes people who are defined by their disabilities as inferior to the non-disabled. Well, for one thing, I am disabled. And I'm proud of it. Secondly, I'm just an autistic adult trying to have a channel on my life and my 3 autistic kids. That's it. Thirdly, I am probably one of the most accepting persons of people where they are than you will ever meet. I mean, I have no thoughts of ableism. I was just an autistic that did not know all the politics of being autistic. I didn't even know that there was politics behind being autistic. I have, like I said, I do have a lower IQ. And I just didn't have any idea that there was politics behind the autism. It really is that simple. And I think that when we judge anybody's motivations behind things that they're doing, people are just jumping in and calling people names nowadays. Autistics are against autistics. And they're just calling people out on things that, honestly, like with myself, they might just be going on what they know. And it isn't anything intentional. And maybe people just need to learn differently in how to do things. And it really could be that, instead of us attacking each other. I don't get the attacking, and I don't get the autistic against autistic. It's just not the right way to do it. Now, I've been watching something about a stream that was called Color the Spectrum with Jimmy Kimmel and Mark Rober, who is a former NASA engineer, and his son is autistic. Many other celebrities were involved with this to raise money for an organization that's called Next for Autism. Now, I hadn't even heard of Next for Autism, so that's how much I didn't know about what's going on. But I've been researching. So it was to be April 30th, which was a couple days ago, and I don't know anything about this except it has the autistic community really upset. upset. So, with that said, I really wanted to look into it more because it was making them angry. And if my community, the community that I'm a part of, is really angry about something, then I want to look it up. So, Next for Autism states on the event, for far too long, autistic voices have been disenfranchised and deserve to be heard by society. At Next for Autism, we know that words matter and we are taking action. For 18 years, we have been supporting the autistic community by creating programs and providing grants across the country. We understand the awareness, the awesome responsibility that comes with our platform, and we welcome diverse autistic voices in the conversation at all stages. Okay, now, with that said, you would think that they would have a lot of autistic voices represented, but let's keep reading. We at Next for Autism have always been fundamentally committed to investing in the success and well-being of the autistic community. Carly Fleischman is mentioned by him. Now, Carly Fleischman is she's an autistic girl who really does not communicate verbally, but she has done amazing. She has a lot to say on a device, and she's very inspiring. So if you don't know who I mean, you can look her up. But he mentions her in his video, and he has an amazing story that he has to tell about his son, but I'll go into why that became a little controversial. Now you can see all of this on the Color the Spectrum nextforautism.org website. So you can go there and see, and I can put the link below. Now this all sounds great, what they're saying, but like I said, people are really upset about this. Where's the money going? And they've attacked Mark Rober because he is being called a supporter of eugenics for where the money is going. So it says that the funds will be used to help autistic people transition from school to adulthood in work, home, and social. So I mean, that sounds good. But let's keep looking. So now the backlash came because the website, themighty.com, states, this is where the backlash is coming from. Soon after the Color the Spectrum campaign was announced, it faced backlash from autistic adults critical of the organization's Next for Autism, as well as some of the language Rober used to describe his son. In his video, Rober describes his son as having special needs and only using person-first language, saying person with autism instead of autistic person. Two phrases that, while common in a parenting space, receive frequent pushback from adults with disabilities. Critics also noted that Next for Autism does not have any openly autistic people on its team or board of directors, but does employ people who have done applied behavior analysis, ABA, and others who have worked in the ABA industry. ABA therapy has been criticized for its focus on teaching autistic people to mask their symptoms, which can be very harmful for autistic people's mental health. A 2020 study found a correlation between masking autistic traits and suicidal thoughts and behaviors. Now, I just want to touch a little bit for a second on Mark Rober and his misuse of the words. I mean, like I said, I've done that. And appears to be a very caring parent to me, and I don't think that he would have done anything intentionally when it comes to that. And that's just my opinion on the matter. And as far as the ABA, I mean, maybe he didn't, and I'm not going to say, I don't know, but I would think that he would have researched where the money was going. I think that he would have. Um, so I do know that masking is hard to do, and I've done it. And I, like I said, I'm old school, and I was taught um, to act a certain way and be a certain way, and I don't agree with that. I'm just saying that that was what. And there's days that I have to mask all day, every day, and it's really hard and it's very exhausting. Um, and I think, like I've covered in other videos, I think that women are really good at it. So, but let's continue, because next for autism stated on Twitter after all of this that these were inaccurate and outrageous accusations. So this is what they said. 18 years ago, Next for Autism was founded with a distinct purpose of providing supports and services for autistic individuals across the country. Our mission has never been the cure of prevention of autism. In fact, Next was created to fill a void at the time. Most national autism organizations were focused primarily on biomedical research. As we stated on our Night of Too Many Stars benefit shows, Next was founded specifically to address the extreme lack of schools and services desperately needed to help people living with autism right now. This event is everything that is wrong with the autism community. Lewis Stone, Mighty contributor and co-chair of the Autistic Women's Alliance, told the Mighty in an email. A star-studded event to raise $1 million could do so much good for autistic people, either by supporting them directly or by supporting nonprofits that are autistic majority. Instead, this money will go to everything we as autistic people fight against. I don't know much about Next. Looking at their website, I'm sure they have some good programs that have helped autistic people, but their values stand in excluding autistic voices from the leadership, preventing abuse therapies, and being dishonest about who and what they support. As the co-chair of Autistic Women's Alliance, a new autistic led nonprofit, I have seen how difficult it is to fundraise in the autism space, and it's so disheartening to see how everyone suddenly cares about autism when celebrities are involved, but clearly still don't actually care about autistic people. I do think that positive things will come of this. Because of the celebrity involvement, both sides of the story are getting press coverage. This is the most mainstream press coverage I've seen that actually exposes our views on things like ABA and cures, and that is huge. There is so much to this, way beyond what I even understand. All I wanted to do is just put this out there, because I don't even know if people know that this is going on. But if you want to get a brilliant autistic young YouTuber's perspective, balanced perspective on all of this, her name is Stephanie Bethany, and I will provide a link below. It's about an hour, 19 minutes, but it is worth it. I've watched it. I watch her often, and I would support her in any way, because she is brilliant, and I love her balanced approach. And she looks at every angle of this. So I would definitely look her up. What I see is so much division in the autistic community, and I also see people being attacked for semantics. And Mark Rober really doesn't know what special needs, that the word special needs is offensive. That's what I think. I think he just didn't know that the word was offensive to some people. And I mean, he clearly loves his son. Like I said earlier, he clearly does. It just appears to me to be his knowledge base. That's what he knows. As was mine. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this too. because of, I was told basically to be canceled by, well, one person, but I'm pretty sensitive, and I'm not saying don't tell me what you, I mean, I welcome anybody's thoughts and opinions. In fact, I would love them even more. Um, but, this cancel culture, because people think that it, and you need the bigger picture. You have to have the bigger picture. Nobody can be judged on a statement in a moment in time. And I really think that maybe he honestly just does not know the bigger picture of what was going on here when he made the video about his son, which he stated in the video how hard it was for him to even make the video of his son, because he doesn't normally, as a YouTuber, put his son on there because of the autism, and he's so protective of him. And you could tell that he really loves his son. I mean, I know that Sia was really slammed for using the word special needs, and I slammed her too, because a lot more than that. It had a lot more to do with semantics. If you watch the movie, you'll understand. But in this case, I think he just did it out of his own ignorance, and just the change in the wording. And I wasn't on the road, the train, or whatever, or the classroom that was told that this is the new way of saying things. And I was raised in a time when we did say it that way. So it's just, it's just different. I also want to say, I think that he and the organization, the money behind what he's trying to raise and to send it to this um, this organization, I think that it was based on the knowledge that he has. And, he's not sending it to Autism Speaks. And I'm not trying to, again, I don't have an opinion. I really don't have an opinion because I don't know enough to have an opinion. But I do know that he's trying. He's trying to get money to autistic people. He's trying with the knowledge that he has. And if there are better organizations out there that don't believe in trying to do the cure autism, or ABA, or just allowing autistics to be autistic with helping them in the transition from going from high school to adulthood, or even in adulthood where they're just looking for jobs and they're trying to get out on their own, would be very helpful. I don't know of any, but if you know of any that, I mean, nationally, I'm not talking, because I actually do know a local one that helps with that. But if you know national ones that do that, that would be great. I would like to know that, and I would gather that people that have the money, like Mark Rober do, would like to know that as well, and the money would go hopefully in a different place. Um, but this is why I always end my videos the way I do. I always say, keep being you and keep moving forward, because we are fine. We don't need fixed. There's nothing wrong with us. And we just need to keep being who we are, but just keep moving forward in who we are. And I only say that part because I have found myself stuck many times in periods of my life, in areas in my autism, or my autism caused me to be stuck in certain times and that were not good for me. And that's just for me. And anybody else that wants to hold on to that phrase that says, keep being you and keep moving forward. I mean, forever I felt like there was something wrong with me, and now I don't. So that's why I love that. And every single day when I wake up, I keep moving forward, and I tell my kids that. And I watch their journeys. Their journeys are tough. All three of them have really hard journeys ahead of them. And I just want them to keep being them, and I want them to keep moving forward. So that's the message that I have. So, as my kids always say, and as I always end my video, keep being you and keep moving forward. Peace. Again, ready? Do it.
1, 2, 3, smash that like button.
And as I always end my video, keep being you and keep moving forward. Peace.